All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Happy Sunday. Some of you are just days away from leaving for the Ruby seminar. So, for my Ruby friends, hello. I'm excited to see you this week. Please come up and introduce yourself if we haven't met before. I'd love to meet y'all in the Ruby seminar. And then I think we're overlapping with the Sapphire seminar. So, those of you who are in Sapphire, pop on by, say hello. But I am so excited. I'm excited about seminar. I'm excited about this season that we are in Mary Kay and just already the momentum that has created for July. And so first and foremost, I want to congratulate those of you that did not wait till seminar to get your butt moving. I think that there have been so many years where I've seen people say, well, I'm going to wait for seminar to motivate me. And that is almost too late. And so I have seen in all of my years, probably this has been the most amount of momentum coming into a new year. And I am excited. So as a reminder, you guys, we just have days left to finish the Million Miracles Challenge. And you guys, we are so close. Like if we miss this by how close we are, that is $1 million that the Mary Kay Charitable Foundation will lose out on. And so you guys, if we all just sold one, and some of us, I'm like committed to selling 10 before seminar, and I have a very busy schedule. I was just telling Shauna, I am so busy between now and Wednesday, but I'm committed to selling 10 more sets. And so I just would encourage you guys, reach out to people. For me, the before and after pictures of my girlfriends have been huge selling features. Even before people have tried it, they see the photos and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. And the results just speak for itself. I mean, it's probably the easiest product that we have ever had to sell because people just love it. So please, please, please sell. Okay, without further ado, we are going to resume summer camp. I see more people are still coming on, so welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm going to introduce you to this week's top sales director speaker. Okay, so let me tell you about Shauna Abbott's. Independent, future executive senior sales director Shauna Abbott started her Mary Kay business while teaching public school in 2005 to make $500 a month so she could quit her second job. She matched her take-home pay in the first month of business and earned the use of her first career car 4 months after signing her agreement. Shauna then debuted as an independent sales director 2 months later. She has been a consistent star consultant for her entire Mary Kay career. Shauna, what's been your favorite star prize?
Oh my goodness. Well, so a lot of people don't know we lost our house in a crazy Colorado wildfire and rebuilt it. And so literally we furnished and decorated most of our home through star prizes. So I think today my favorite prize is we have this bench that was a star gift in our mudroom that my kids put their shoes on when they tie. And my daughter just learned how to tie her shoes this last week. Like amazing.
That's awesome. I love that. I didn't know that about the star prizes. I knew that you guys had lost your home in the fire, but I did not know that you use star prizes to furnish your house. That's really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
And what's fun is like when people are at your house, when they compliment you like on a table, you're like, oh, that was the star prize. Yeah. That was a star prize.
Yep.
We always joke in our house that we've not had to buy TVs in 10 years because Mary Kay always has TVs. So, okay. All right. Let's see. So since earning the use of her first car, she's gone on to earn 6 more career cars in her Mary Kay career, and 5 of them, of course, are the pink Cadillacs. Her unit has achieved the Circle of Achievement 5 times, the $650,000 Circle of Excellence 1 time, the $700,000 Circle of Excellence 2 times, and the prestigious $800,000 Circle of Excellence 2 times. And she is very, very good friends. If you're in my area, she's really good friends with our Stephanie Coker. Shauna has achieved the Queen's Court of Sales 10 times, the Queen's Court of Sharing 1 time, triple starred once, and double starred 9 times. Shauna has received over $60,000 in jewelry and has the privilege of earning 5 all-expense-paid vacations, including an Alaskan cruise and luxury trips to Beijing, San Francisco, Maui, London, Paris, and now Argentina. Her highest unit retail in 1 month has been over $114,000, and her highest commission check in 1 month is over $18,000. Could y'all imagine waking up and there's $18,000 in your bank account? Over 9 times what she took home in 1 month of teaching. So think about that, you guys. 9 months of her teaching career she made in 1 month, which is insane. Okay, she is the proud senior director to 4 incredible first-line offspring sales directors, so inches away from executive. Shauna's been married for 18 years to her high school sweetheart, Mark, and they have 2 wonderful children, Nicholas, who is 12, and Grace, who is 7. Shauna's real favorite accolades are that they have retired Mark from police work at the age of 38, and their children have lived their entire lives with a working mom at home. and they are creating a life as a family based on their priorities. Her most favorite accolade is that she is passing this on daily by helping consultants and directors in her future area leverage their Mary Kay business to create a great life for themselves and their families. So you guys, I have so much respect for this woman. I love her. I love her national, and she is just absolutely incredible. So make sure you have a notepad. I've got mine all set to go. But please, virtual welcome for Top Sales Director Shauna Abbott. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you for inviting me. I am so excited to talk to you guys tonight. So just welcome to the call. Thank you for investing your time into this and into your business. I am so proud of you guys for choosing to be on. I know that it's vacation season. I know that it's getting ready for seminar, and you're still choosing to take this hour out and invest in yourselves and in your business. And you guys, it's so worth it. So I have a training for you guys to share that I'm super excited to talk about tonight. But I first want to just take a minute and just remind you guys, if you're going to seminar, which I would guess the majority of you watching this are, I really want to just take a minute to kind of be a mom and just mom you all for a minute and just say, you guys go to seminar in motion. I don't care if you're leaving this week, what can you do to get product on faces before you go? If you have seminar, a little bit out, like I don't leave till the 27th, do a perfect start between now and the 27th, get the product on faces, especially with this Miracle Set 3D, you guys, it is huge. I completely agree with Leah. It is the easiest sell I've ever seen. I am loving it. I have sold a chunk of them. I sold a couple just yesterday, the day before. And it is huge for your family, huge for your pocketbook. And we are inches away from that $1 million being donated to the Mary Kay Foundation. And a lot of people don't know this. Their annual giving per year tends to be right around the $5 million mark. So this $1 million extra would be about a 20% increase in their budget. And you guys, when I do parties and things, I'll say, who do you know, or who at this table has been impacted by somebody in terms of domestic violence, or you or your close family, close friend. And then I'll say, who has been impacted by cancer that affects women? You, close family, close friend. Every woman at the table, you guys, raises their hands. It is such a big deal. And this is where we get to make an impact. We are bigger than lipstick. And so I just want to challenge you, if you haven't followed up with people who said they were interested, you haven't shared it with your customer base, get on it. Let's do it. And that'll be a huge piece of you going to seminar and going, you know what? I don't just have a goal. I'm on the way there already. And you're going to be so empowered when you go and you show up and you do that. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is conquering fear. And I know that I don't know, you're either listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I know I don't need to know how to do that. I just need to book. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Or you're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. But I want to share about it because I think that what happens, is when you get a dream, when you have a dream and you get really sold out and you're just so, you know exactly what you want for your future, for your family, you've got this big vision, then all of a sudden you get so invested, right? And when you get really, really invested in something, I think that's when Satan comes out to play. And one of his big weapons is fear. And so if you're feeling fearful, that means number one, you're on the right track. It means number two, that he's going to come out. And number three, there are things you want to be empowered and equipped. And as we all go to seminar, new dreams are going to be born. Mary Kay said seminar is a place where dreams are given those wings. And so you're going to encounter fear. Maybe even as soon as you get on the airplane, you're going to be like, what was I thinking? And so I want to share with you guys some practicals for conquering fear. And I want you to write them down. And every time that you're fighting the fear, I want you to have a little note card, whatever, that you go back to and know, okay, this is normal, this happens, and this is what I'm going to do to combat the fear. And so I'll share a little bit about why this topic is really big for me. So I've got a little story for you guys, and then we'll talk about nuts and bolts. So I promise I'm going somewhere with this, but some of you might know I am a CrossFitter. And I want to be very clear, I'm horrible. I am the slowest person in the gym. I lift the lightest weights in the gym. I am so bad. I'm so bad. Okay. I've been doing it for about, I would say a year and not quite a year and a half, 15 months, something like that. And when I started, I'll share that part with you a little bit later. But I had been doing it for about 9 months when this thing came out called the CrossFit Open. And if you don't know anything about CrossFit, there's these, everything has their the Super Bowl, their playoffs, their whatever. And so the open is where you go, there's 5 weekends and there's 5 workouts and they score you. And then if you're really great, you get to go to regionals and you can go on a team or individually. And then if you're really great, you can move on to worlds, which is happening like this month and all this. And so I had been CrossFitting badly for about 9 months. And my friend was like, do you want to do the open? Because anyone can do it. Your gym will do it. And it's really cool. They like usually have like a big thing. Everyone comes, they have food. It's awesome. They call it Friday Night Lights. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I've got a lot going on. I got other things to focus on. I'm not doing that. And so my friend sent me this video of this guy basically being like, this is why you need to do the open. So basically what happened is under massive amounts of peer pressure, I decided to do the open. And I'm driving to the gym and like, I'm terrified. Like, I'm so like almost physically ill. Like, I'm not feeling very good. I'm probably getting sick. I probably shouldn't do this. I don't want to get injured, like the things that we do, right? And I pull up and I go in and we're all scared to death and the workout's hard because it's the open and we're warming up. And, the next thing I know, I somehow get score and I get to submit it online. And I felt like amazing. Like this, I have this little piece of paper still in my nightstand because I like felt like such an overcomer, like such a winner, right? And then I proceeded to put myself through this torture for 4 more weekends where I was like terrified, shaking, felt like I was getting sick, did not want to go, went because I told my friends I was going to go, got through it, and then felt like a winner, right? And so I did this over and over again. And so where I'm going with this story is that journey was so good for me because don't you feel like we do that all the time to ourselves in Mary Kay? Like, I don't know, maybe you don't feel that way, but like, I think a lot of people feel that way. Like when you sit down to book and you're like afraid, and the phone like weighs 1,000,000 pounds and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Like it sounded really good at the meeting, but now I have to go do it. And it's scary. And it's scary to tell that cute girl that you see, out and about and ask her to be a portfolio model. And it's scary to ask to get a leads box in. And I think that those are real things. And I think for me, one of the best things about this whole CrossFit journey, which by the way, to be clear, I'm still very bad at. But one of the best things about it was it put me in an arena of learning to feel the fear and do it anyway. And that was so good for me as a director. And it was so good for me as a leader. And so I took, like, when I'm looking at this situation where, obviously I was acting like a 5-year-old, I was like, why did I show up and do it anyway? And what got me through that? And I took a lot of lessons from that really, I think a lot of times transfer into our business because you guys feel that exact same way. I think all of us do when we have this huge goal and we're terrified and we have to get out of our comfort zone. And a lot of times we can let that stop us. So I want to give you guys like some concrete things you can do. And hear me on this. This is really big. This is important. This is not just about how to make your booking calls or, how to do a great individual consultation where you rebook her for coffee to share, those kinds of things. And that takes a lot of courage. These things create bigger things and bigger wins and bigger successes in your business. And what that does is it trickles into your family and it trickles into your life. So understand that when we're talking about learning to conquer the fear so you can have success in your business, we're talking about a trickle down effect that leads to learning to conquer fear because your kids watch you do it and it gives them the knowledge that it's okay to be afraid and do it anyway, and they see it in the flesh, and it leads into you doing other things in life that you might be afraid of. Many areas. And so Mary Kay was very smart because she understood that as we grow our business grows us. And this is not just about a business, you guys. It's not just about a lifestyle. This is really about us being our best us and us being our best selves. And in Mary Kay, we are so fortunate that we're in a place where we have to grow to be great. And I love that. I hate it, but I love it. And I know you probably feel the same way. So let's talk about the 5 things that you need to do to beat the fear, to conquer the fear, to fight the fear. Do not wait till the fear goes away. It will not go away. I was driving to CrossFit this morning terrified. It's okay, but learn to do it anyway because it's worth it. All right. So number 1 is you find your dream and your passion. And you figure out what you really want, and you have to want it more than your fear. And you have to tap into that. Right. And so, for me, a big part of CrossFit was I hit a milestone birthday. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling great about where I am in my business. I feel great about where I am as a mom. I'm feeling great as where I am as a wife, but I can't be this age and be like this in terms of my physical health. And it moved me big time. Because I always my whole life thought when I hit that age, and I hope you think I'm saying 30. I just want you to know. But, I always thought that when I hit that age, I was going to be like this way and I was going to have it this way and be all together. And I realized, you know what? I got some work to do, and it moved me. Okay. So it's just things like that. Like when your kid gets that college acceptance letter and they open it, like you guys remember getting the letter and you open it and you're like, oh my gosh, mom, I got in. Do you want to be thinking, I don't know how I'm going to send you? Like with your heart breaking? Or do you want to be like, oh my gosh, that money is in the bank. You got it. I'm so excited you got in, right? What is your dream? What is your passion? And you have to think about it and visualize it and tap into it and get that vision board, and like we always talk about how we cut off people's heads and put ours on it or whatever, but figure out what moves you and also understand how you're motivated. So are you motivated by pleasure or are you motivated by pain? So a good example of this is, at Career Conference, you can be in that top 3. And, I'll work for that because I want my people to have the recognition. But what I found is it wasn't moving me in a way that got me completely out of my comfort zone and so clear on what you needed to do to make it happen. But what did move me is when they said, every member of your unit when you are on target for Circle of Excellence, every member of your unit at Career Conference will get to walk across stage. And for me, I was like, you know what? I am not going to let my people sit in that audience and watch other people walk across stage. Like I'm not doing it. I will not do that to them. They deserve this. And it moved me big time. So are you motivated by the win or are you motivated by the fear of loss? And if so, leverage that out. Like, maybe you're motivated maybe that way. Maybe you shouldn't be. I don't know. But if it moves you, who cares? Like tap into that. Let it move you. Get rolling. Okay. So that's number 1 is figure out your dream. And it does not have to be this big thing. It can be whatever gets you out of bed. Okay. Number 2 is accountability. I think that is so, so huge because you can have your dream, but when you're afraid to pick up the phone or you're afraid to talk to that person, then sometimes the dream can't be, sometimes it's not big enough. And so you really need that accountability. And so one of the things that was really great for me is, with CrossFit, I had this check-in that the night before was like, this is when I'm showing up. And as an entrepreneur, I know all CrossFits are small businesses. And I just have too much respect for that owner, that coach to bail on them. Like I won't do it. Right. And so for you, do you have some accountability? Like how could you create a check-in, a checkout? Is that text messaging your director and being like, hey, I'm going to book tonight. Right. And then she texts you back and says, great, let me know how it went. And are you going to commit that no matter what, you're going to text her back, good, bad, or ugly? What would that do for you? Find a peer group, give each other permission to be tough. If she lets you off the hook, then she's not the right accountability partner for you. Hear me that sometimes your director's not your best accountability partner. Not that she isn't great. She's a great mentor. She's a great coach. But sometimes you need someone that you want to run alongside that's going to challenge you, that's in your arena. It may be it's another red jacket in your area. What does that look like? But you need to give each other permission to be tough. So she needs to be a no drama, no excuses kind of girl. She needs to be a girl who's talking about ideas, not people. She needs to be a girl who's talking about wins, not obstacles. And you also need to give yourself permission to be accountable. Okay. And that's really, really important. Sometimes I think we get hung up on, well, I shouldn't need to be accountable. And I think, you know what, whether you do or you don't, who cares? If it's going to help you move forward, you'll develop that muscle. It'll grow as you continue to do it. But if you need it, someone else probably needs it too. So do each other a favor, get in the mix and find someone to run the race with. As Leah mentioned, Stephanie and I are really good friends, and we've had some pretty tough conversations over the last couple of years where there have been times she called me out. There's times I've called her out and just been like, look, girlfriend, you need to make the decision or whatever. And it's been good for us. I'm so grateful for the people in my life that can challenge me, which leads to number 3. Number 3 is you need to find your tribe. Okay, because the tribe makes it fun. And I think sometimes when we get really into a great mix of people, we will start showing up and working for the people instead of just the accountability or the dream or the vision. And that's been huge. That's why you guys give yourself the gift of your weekly meeting. Give yourself the gift of girlfriends who are fierce. You want to show up, you want to be in the community of women who are doing things and making things happen. You guys, every successful weight loss program has groups. That's just what they do. Churches are groups. God designed us for community. Community is crucial for success. It is okay to need community. But you guys, honestly, probably 50% of the reason I work so hard for the trip is because my girlfriends are going to be there. That is not a great reason. The great reason should be because I'm the breadwinner for my family. And the great reason should be because my kids want to eat 3 meals a day. But you know what? Honestly, I work hard because I don't want to miss out. I want to hang out with my girlfriends. And put yourself in an arena of women who are going to be crossing the stage at Seminar this next year together. And you don't want to be left behind and you don't want to miss out. So give yourself the gift of the community, of the tribe, of people who will celebrate you. And that also means they'll celebrate your little things, you guys. Sometimes a booking is a big thing. Are you with people who will celebrate you and give you that payoff and be excited for even the baby steps along the way? That is so important, okay? Where you're going to find your tribe is your meetings, you guys. You're not going to find it on Facebook. You have to plug into the community. One of the things about Mary Kay that is so incredible is it's not just the training that happens at your meeting. It is the relationships, the friendships, the life that we create, who we be because of the community we're in. If you don't make a dime, that's worth it. Prioritize your local meetings. Okay, number 4, you need a coach, right? And so you need someone who refines your skills, who pushes you past where you think you can go and stretches you appropriately so that you can win without getting injured, okay? Your coach is crucial, and without it, the rest of these 5 things I'm going through, they can't get you there. You have to have a coach. One of the things I heard very early in my career that was big for me is you need to find one mentor and you need to be obedient. And that has always been my national sales director. I have been very, very grateful that she has challenged me, but she has also known what I'm ready for. And I think that's really important is you need someone to help you figure out the next best step. And that is what your coach is going to do. So choose mentorship. As a side note, you also need to know what you don't. And this is hard, but to put your ego aside, we need to want success more than we want to be right. Do you guys know what I mean? And that is so, so hard. But for me, I needed to know where I needed to grow in order to get it together. And so plug into your director, communicate, tell her what's going on, be willing to be coached. If you're in a place, ask her, am I coachable? If you're in a place where when she's coaching, you're basically just telling her, oh, I'm already doing that, or I don't need to do that because that means that you're not ready to grow. Ask her, how can I be more coachable for you? What do you think? And she may be like, girl, you're so coachable, you got it. But if there's something she can do, that's only going to help you. So be willing to be coached. And then the last piece of really having the support system to fight the battle with fear is to read or to have your input. If you're not a reader, are you a listener? Are you on Audible? What are you doing? And I feel like we all need to be inspired daily. And I think sometimes we can get in this hang up is it weird that I need to fix my head every single day? I don't know about you guys, I get up at really early, 5:15, yes. And I do an hour with Jesus because I just know if I don't download some Jesus into my brain, I am not a great person. It's not okay, right? And sometimes I'm like, is something wrong that I need that? And what's wrong with me? And then I go, you know what? No, it is what it is. God designed us to need him. And we all need to fix our brain. Our brain is a scary, crazy animal that needs a lot of discipline. That is just the deal. And as you have more and more going on in your life, there's more and more in there. I mean, you've got kids, you've got your husband, you've got your crazy pets, you've got whatever you've got going on. And it's a lot to handle. And so I think it's really important to understand that you need to be intentional about growing yourself, growing your brain. And so I feel like we're kind of like a plant. And I want to ask you, how are you treating your plant? Right? Like, and how do you see your plant? Is it a weed or is it a rose bush? Okay, so like a good example is, weeds grow anywhere, right? Like anywhere they can figure it out, but they're not beautiful, right? And roses, they need the right water, they need the right air, they need the right light, they need the right soil, they need the right fertilizer, but they can live 30 to 50 years and they are a thing of beauty to be treasured. I had this geranium. My daughter in kindergarten brought me home this little, they're from the grocery store and they cut them up. They're like the little planters. They're like this, tiny. And it was like wrapped in tinfoil, this baby geranium plant. And she brought it home and it was my Mother's Day present. And I just loved it. And I like put it in a bigger pot. And I've kept it alive and I'm like so proud of myself. You have no idea. Like this plant is still alive. But because of the way our house is and the way the light is, it's grown really weird. Like it's got this middle part that's like, nice. And then it's got these big, like leggy things, to the point where someone who came over asked me if it was a hanging geranium, which it is not in any way, because it's grown super weird. Do you know why? Because it didn't get the right light. It got the light I had. Right. And I'm not a super great gardener, so I have no idea. I probably should fertilize it someday. Right. But my whole point is like, if you aren't intentional about the light and the air and the soil and the fertilizer and what you're giving yourself, you're going to be like my geranium. Like you're still going to be great. I mean, God made everyone great. Like you're still going to be beautiful, but you're not going to be like your best. You might be like lopsided. And I know this is a horrible analogy, but go with me, right? And so, you might not grow to be that beautiful thing that you could be because you're not being intentional. You're just taking whatever comes. And I think beautiful souls and beautiful successes are fed. So are you growing yourself intentional? We have DIQ in my future area and we just started DIQ. I said, what are you reading? And, she said, well, I'm reading this fiction, this. And I just looked at her and I said, you're not allowed to read anything fiction until you're done with DIQ. Like, you've got to be reading like Joyce Meyer. You've got to be reading what the most successful people do before breakfast. And, in a very direct, loving way. But, the season that she's in DIQ is so much rapid growth. We've got to make sure she's fed really well. And so I want to ask you, are you doing those things? Are you growing yourself intentionally? Are you choosing those best yeses, right? And so I feel like, when you kind of wrap it all up, honestly, you guys, you're always going to have fear because when you want something, when you're sold out to something, it's going to be there. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Like that dragon's always going to be there for you to fight, right? But you can have those tools in your toolbox, and the tools in your toolbox will be the things you need to beat it, to get through to making those dials, to get through to talking to that person. And every day you beat it, it is just like a muscle. You're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then one day you won't remember what it's like to be afraid to call someone. You won't remember what it's like to be afraid to do an individual consultation because you've just become such a freaking beast. And so just to review, your 5 things you need to do are you need to find your dream or your passion. You need accountability. You need to plug into your tribe. You need to work with your coach. And you need your input. Okay, you've got to have that. So I want you to kind of just think about these things. These are takeaways for you to write down and process through. So number 1 is, of those 5 areas, what do you feel like you're the best at? Like, what do you feel like you are just, I got that, I'm rocking it, right? What do you have down? Next one, of your 5 areas, what do you need more of? What are the ones that you're like, yeah, that would be big for me. Like, I really know that that's what I need to dial into. And then my last thing that I want you to kind of ponder over is, in each of those 5 areas, I want you to kind of, just as you take time, to process, I want you to try to, maybe it's on the flight to seminar, whatever, but what is the one thing you will commit to in each department to help you beat the fear? I think sometimes it's really easy to try to attack everything at once, and maybe you're just going to attack one of these, and that would be awesome. But maybe, over the next 6 months, You try to like hit one thing a month, and you try to hit one thing in that thing, that tangible. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to Voxer my director twice a week. What is it going to be that you are going to commit to in those departments to help you have the systems in place to conquer your fear? So then the last thing I want to share with you is something that my husband had emailed me. It is about CrossFit. I'm sorry. I'm not that obsessive in real life, mostly. But one of the things, this is a story about something called a box jump. And if you don't know what this is, there's these boxes made out of plywood, and you jump on them, and it sounds like way easier than it is. They're like, they can be like 20 inches, 24 inches. I'm 5'2", and I'm afraid of heights. And I was jumping on a 12-inch box for months, forever, 6 months at least, because I was really terrified. And so my husband had emailed me this. And I want to share it with you because I think it's powerful. He says, I remember standing at the gym watching you tell Heather, who's my coach, that you could not use a taller box. She said that you could, and you repeatedly told her you couldn't. So just if you were wondering, top directors are exactly like you. Okay, just so you know. But anyway, you repeatedly told her you couldn't because you couldn't jump high enough to clear it. It didn't seem like you were worried about hurting yourself, which I was, to be clear. But you had just convinced yourself that it was too high. She told you to try it once, and there was no judgment in the request, just encouragement. You tried it and made it, and none of us were surprised except you. All of us knew you could do it. We all had faith in you. You created a brick wall, something you couldn't see beyond, and it kept you from a place we already saw you. Anytime you feel a brick wall, figure out who put it there. If you created it, break through it like it doesn't exist, because it doesn't. If someone else put it there, go around it and don't waste a second. And I'm sharing that with you guys because I think that's a message for all of us. It's not a message for me. It's not about jumping on a box. It's about fighting the fear in all of these areas of our lives. And your director knows and sees you in a place that you don't see yourself in yet. She knows that you are capable of more than you even know. So I want to give you these words that my husband gave me because they're so true. You guys, anytime you feel a brick wall, you figure out who put it there. And if you created it, which is 90% of the time us, but if you created it, you break through it because it doesn't exist. Okay. And if someone else put it there, you go around it and you don't waste a second because you have so much waiting for you. You're greater than you already know. You're incredible. You're a phenomenal woman. The fact that you're watching this right now means you are a cut above everyone else out there, you guys. So I want you to know you have what it takes. The more you get to know top directors, the more you realize we do not have it together. There's nothing magic about us except that we choose to go forward and keep moving, and you can do it too. And you have great things waiting for you. God put you here because he has something for you in this. So give it your 100%. Give him your 110%, you guys. Go make it happen. Go fight your fears because the feeling of victory on the other side, you guys, it's really not about a diamond ring. It's really not about a free car. It's not even about a bank account, although, man, it's so great to have those types of, choices in the security. But you guys, it's really about putting yourself in situations where you find yourself victorious and you remind yourself who you are and you develop this incredible person. Don't forget that we don't take it with us, that God's really far more interested in who we become along the way and lives we touch along the way. And remember that every time you get out of your comfort zone, you're making amazing things happen for you and someone else. So there you go. Happy Sunday. That's what I got.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved your plant analogy. I'm a huge plant analogy person, so I was like, geranium. So thank you so much. Thank you for talking about growth. I think that is exactly where we're at right now in our businesses. All of us, we want that growth. And I just love the analogies that you used. And I was so motivated by your CrossFit. I kind of sort of want to go do it now. So thank you.
Fun. Be careful. It's addictive.
It's addictive. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to go ahead and do our lightning round really quick. My piece of paper has my questions, so I was jogging them down. So I think I remembered all of them except for one, but I thought of a better question. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you are stranded on an island, Shauna. You can only have one Mary Kay product. What is it?
Okay, because I am the most practical person in the world, I'm not making this up. It would be sunscreen. Yep.
No one said sunscreen, and that's smart. You're the only one that doesn't have skin cancer. Okay, good. I like it. Okay, your most embarrassing Mary Kay moment, Mary Kay related moment.
You know, I have a lot of them, but I think okay, so we had just moved into our house in Black Forest, which is like this beautiful part of Colorado Springs. It's in the middle of nowhere. And it was like, the house I said we'd never be able to afford. And I remember my accountant, when I called her, she was like, you can afford that house. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I felt like $1 million and I was going in to do a power day of work. And I was like all proud of myself. Like I was super cute. Like I felt like I looked great. And I'm standing in line in the little, rustic coffee shop we have out here. And I'm going to get my coffee and go into work. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I have it together. And, this woman walks up behind me and she goes, honey, your skirt's unzipped. And I was like, thanks. And I was really glad I didn't go through the whole day that way. But it's just that moment where you realize, yep, we might have it all together, but we still need to remember to actually zip all of our clothes. It's okay.
Shauna, I had one time I was in a Panera and, I used to live in California and it's hot in Texas too, but Lily Gotro had said to me, she's like, you need to get knee highs. Like this is when we were wearing nylons with sundresses. She's like, get knee highs. They're life-changing during the summer. And I never wore knee highs. And so I bought knee highs and I'm in Panera waiting for my appointment. And there's a long line. I just purchased my stuff and all of a sudden my legs feel cool. I'd gone straight down. And so I literally shuffled myself into the bathroom and I threw the suckers off. I was like, I'm so over this. Oh, it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. If Mary Kay Ash were alive today, what would she want us to know?
I think that it does not matter how many opportunities are out there. It does not matter what new thing comes up. It does not matter what new business is out there. I think she would want us to know that she designed this and it will be and still will continue to be always the best opportunity out there for women.
Definitely.
I think that belief is the most important. It creates everything else.
I love that. Completely agree. Okay. This is the question I improvised on. This is going to be a hard one. So if you have to do two, you can tell me two. Okay. But in all of your Mary Kay years, what are the most significant book or books that stand out to you?
Oh, okay. For sure. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell. I was not a great leader before that book. It definitely changed my world. And I think Visioneering by Andy Stanley. Yeah, I'd say those were the big, big, big rocks for me.
The game changers.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Shauna, do you have any tattoos?
Yes. No, I'm too afraid of commitment.
Okay. We decided to get committed and Stephanie Coker has us out one night. And so she's like, let's go get tattoos. What do you get?
Oh, it'd be so hard. I would probably get the word grace because I believe it is the most beautiful thing in heaven and earth.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I love that. And you never know, being friends with Stephanie,
It could happen. I know. I live in fear.
You get an Argentinian tattoo. Come back.
I know.
Argentina.
Yep.
Okay, so before we go, guys, I do want to just share a little bit of seminar etiquette because I realize that not everyone has a national sales director. Some of you are Go Give. And so a few things. If you are a sales director, please remember that we don't debut the suit until seminar. So one of the things that I always did as a sales director, and even as a national, I don't wear my national suit until seminar, the new one, is I always had kind of I don't want to call it casual July, but we just wore really cute summer dresses to our meetings. And so that was always fun. So remember that Mary Kay asked us of that. Secondly, when we're going to seminar, you guys remember that people are watching us. And in all of my years of seminars, I would be lying to you, and Shauna will fully back me up on this. Something something will go wrong to somebody. Like some years it's perfect, but sometimes I've had, luggage that got mixed up or my flight was delayed. And the worst thing is when I've seen a consultant like screaming at a flight attendant or yelling, like just remember like who we represent. And so if you give someone a bad taste, that's giving Mary Kay a bad taste to people. And so just remember, like, be calm, be cool. Jan Harris, my senior national, used to always say, everything always works out for us. And it's so true. Like at the end of the day, we might be delayed, we might be flustered, but it's all going to work out. We will end up at our hotel. We will end up with a bed and it will be okay. And so just have that kind of chill attitude. And you guys, I'm super relaxed. Like if stuff is delayed, I always feel like that's like how God intended it. Like maybe I'm missing a car accident or maybe like that's part of the plan. And so I always have a good attitude about that. So that's number one. Number two is when we're at seminar, whenever they show a video of Mary Kay Ash, it's really important that we give her a standing ovation. That's just one of the things that really helps keep our culture alive. And it's just a respect thing. It's important. And so I always see like a lot of newbies every year who don't know how to do that. And so I want you guys to lead because people will follow. If they see you standing, they will stand. So every single time. The other thing that's really important is whenever a national sales director or top sales director comes out to speak, always give them a standing ovation. You guys, these women are the foundation of our business. I mean, I would not be a national sales director had it not been for these nationals and top directors who I literally sat at the feet of and took notes and pages and notes. I mean, it is the least we can do. And it's, from someone that's been on stage, it's a huge confidence boost when you can hear people, screaming for you and cheering. And, that when before I speak, it always is like, okay, I'm showing up. It's good. And so make sure that we do that out of respect. The other thing is that Mary Kay gave us the most flexible business. And one thing that she asked is at our events that we refrain from alcohol. And sometimes I think people don't understand everything that there is to that. So, number one, I'm not saying that wine is bad or whatever, but we don't want to have anyone drunk at seminar because again, that does not make Mary Kay look good. And also you don't necessarily know what's going on with other people in your unit. Like I remember years ago, we had this fantastic lady in our national area and she was a recovering alcoholic. And so if we had put her in a setting where some of us were having a glass of wine or whatever at seminar, it would not have been good for her. And so you never know what's going on as far as that goes. And so here's my thought. Mary Kay has given me freedom, flexibility, the ability to be a work from home mom. And so I will always honor Mary Kay's request that I will not have alcohol at Mary Kay events. And so when you guys see me in Dallas out to dinner, you'll see me with water. I will be loving it. Or a LaCroix. I love LaCroix. I'll probably just hide it in my purse. So I might bring it into a restaurant illegally if they don't have it. But I will have this, but you won't see me with a glass of wine. So I know that some people get all flustered with that, but my whole thing is like, if you can't go 4 days without alcohol and still like cannot have fun, then there's like a problem there. Like you don't need to have fun. We have more than enough fun, and trust me, we don't need it. We are drunk on tiredness and silliness at Mary Kay because we're so excited. Your dreams will make you drunk if you need it. Okay. Shauna, am I forgetting anything? This isn't your first rodeo. Is there any other etiquette that we should let newbies go give know that I missed?
I think the only thing I would say is we really like it if when you check into the hotel and when you're traveling, if you look super professional.
Yes. Talk about that.
So I just think, I had heard this once. I actually just was checking into a hotel myself. And I remember I had a woman check me and she goes, I always know when Mary Kay's here because you guys always look so great. And I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. That one of the things that Mary Kay was so smart about, you guys, is this concept that we were going to market our business and we weren't going to need to pay all this advertising to do it. And we were going to do that because we had products that looked cute in people's bathrooms, because in the 60s bathrooms were pink and white. But that also that everywhere we went, we were going to look like we worked for a top line. And it gave us a lot of traction as we were growing as a company where no one had heard of us. And now it maintains our reputation. And so we all have a huge opportunity to advance our own brand image when we choose to look like $1 million.
Absolutely. And you guys, this does not need to be expensive. Like, I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. Like, some of my friends make fun of me, but you guys, Walmart has some cute stuff right now. Like, I want you to know that a lot of times when you see me in a dress, it's a Walmart dress because I live in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Like, our population of our city is 7,000. So it is kind of a trek to go somewhere, like to a Target. It's a trek. So like I'm shopping at the Walmart all the time. So when you see me at seminar, like on the down nights with my unit, I will probably be in Walmart attire and it looks super cute. So just know that it does not need to be expensive and you can look cute. And And it, like Shauna said, like we really do stand out. I've always had comments getting on a plane like, oh, you guys must be with the Mary Kay convention because we just stand out. And that's nice for you if you're traveling alone, because then you can find some friends easily because you know who they are. They're just dressed super nice. So anyway, summer camp. I need to check this because I am at seminar next week, you guys. I don't have my date book in here, but we're still going on. I might not be hosting you next week, but we do have next week happening. So I will keep you posted through email if anything changes. But thank you, Shauna, so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I am cheering you on this year as you wrap up your national area. I know this is the year of huge, huge momentous building. And I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. So everyone have a great night, and we will talk to you soon.